Thanks to the support as a channel member, Jacob D. Lovely. He's back. And part of me does feel a little bit guilty that I've taken away Wigan's best player when they've got the best opportunity they've had in a generation to make it back to the Premier League. But you know what? He didn't have to come. He's played over 500 games for them. So he's done his bit. He's done his share. He is now a Blackburn player at 32 years old. We've spent £5 million on a goalkeeper, but Mr Tickle is a Blackburn player and is going to go straight into the team because we are having a little bit of a wobble. As you can see, we've had 4 matches there without a win. It obviously included the 2 we played in the last episode. We did beat West Ham 4-0 away in our last match, but our attack has just fallen apart. As you can see, Harley, Tyjon and Higgins all injured. Harley's going to be out for 3 to 6 weeks. Tyjon for 12 days to 6 weeks. That's lovely and specific. And Higgins is out for the next 2 to 5 weeks. So all 3 of them are going to be missing for the entirety of the January transfer window. We go into that window, even having spent £5 million on Mr Tickle, with over £10 million to spend. We don't really need to do anything, I don't think. We are looking pretty good in the championship table, still 3 points clear of second place, 6 points clear of third. And obviously we have those players returning. And Thompson has now scored some goals for us as well. So we might finally be getting the Grant Thompson that we paid money for. Obviously he got 20 goals last season for Norwich in this league. I kept saying it was Sheffield Wednesday. It wasn't, it was Norwich. 20 goals for Norwich. The year before he got 16 for Hull. He scored 15 for Millwall a few years before that. He is a proven championship goal scorer, and now he's actually getting a run in the team because of injuries. He's actually scoring goals for us as well. So I don't think we even need to go and panic buy a striker. So unless somebody leaves, I don't know that we necessarily need to do any transfers. So we're just going to get straight into the matches. Assume there's not going to be much in the way of transfer business. And if something does happen, I'll let you know. I plan to get to the end of the January transfer window in this video. So if we do get some shenanigans, you'll find out all about them just as quickly as I do. That's not true. I'm recording this like a week in advance. You'll find out about them about a week after me. But you won't notice the week because it's all going to be in... I think you know how videos work. So first up, we are playing Sheffield Wednesday, and that is the debut in a Blackburn shirt of Mr Tickle. He comes straight in and straight into the team. Charles is now fit enough to be back on the bench as well, so it's a little bit harsh on him because he didn't really do anything wrong other than get injured, and we spent £5 million on him back in the summer. We probably, in retrospect, should have just spent 15 million on Mr Tickle this time last year because we've signed multiple goalkeepers since then. So it was 6 million. Oh, that's not an omen. So we spent 2 million on Young. We spent 3.5 million on Pizarro plus the 6 million on Pierce. So yeah, if we'd have just bought Mr Tickle for 15 million this time last year, we'd have saved all that money. It's the second time I've made a 15 million pound Mr Tickle mistake in this series, but hopefully the last time. So it's Mr Tickle in goal, a back four of Ryvad, Stojanovic, Graf and Hogsberg, Tingy and Armstrong in midfield, Wang, Rabaj and Mbappe behind Thompson up front. It is a very unfamiliar looking front four because of all of the injuries that we've accumulated. But I think this is crucially important. Despite being fairly unfamiliar looking, it's still a really strong front four. It's as strong as any front four we were able to put out there last season. So it really does show the quality of that transfer window we did when we focused on bringing in depth rather than necessarily bringing in superstars, because our superstars were already so good. We were never going to bring in a load of players better than what we already had. It's just we didn't have enough players of that kind of quality. And I think that's the problem we fixed, which will hopefully allow us to ride out this injury crisis that we're having. First with 2 goalkeepers getting injured at once, and now 3 of the 4 attackers getting injured at the same time. Mr Tickle has made his first spectacular save for us, but unfortunately palmed it back into the path of an onrushing Sheffield Wednesday player, and he has now conceded his first goal in a Blackburn shirt. I think this is a save. Oh, it might hit the post actually. Mr Tickle might not be might not have started the way he intends to go on in a Blackburn shirt. Maybe he can only play for Wigan. He had a man of the match performance when we played Wigan a couple of weeks ago, saving a penalty, catching a penalty. But that wasn't the Mr Tickle that we know and love. Hopefully he's just easing his way in. Right, Wang with the touch, the cross. It falls to Tingy, who shoots from range. He was a centre-back this time last year. We've turned him into a midfielder, and he nearly scored an absolute worldie. Hogsberg with the in-swinger, can't beat the first man. Falls to Mbappe, who shoots from range. That's hit the post. There's been a lot of post in the first 7 minutes of this football match with Sheffield Wednesday, now with the chance for a counter-attack. Through Ephron Mason Clark, and luckily we take the ball off of him. And yeah, let's just settle in a little bit. We'll be fine. Sheffield Wednesday are in very good form, apparently. I mean, they are 20th in the league, but it said in the commentary they're red hot. So I guess they've had a new manager and are now charging up the table after a really, really poor start to the season, which is not really the time for us to play them when we've got half of our team, the best half, unavailable. But Tingy wins it back in midfield. It's Mbappe shooting from range, and it's pushed round the post by the Wednesday keeper. In fact, it wasn't. It's gone out for a goal kick. So I'm picking out saves everywhere I see him at the moment. Interesting to note as well, Lancashire, who scored for them, was one of the striker options we had when we brought Thompson in. We decided to go for Thompson instead of Lancashire, which is why he scored against us. Armstrong to Rivad. And now Armstrong again. Can we do a goal here? Rivad lays it off to Wang, who has just signed a new big money contract and rewards us by drilling it across goal for Rabaj to score. He came in the summer expecting to play a little bit more football than he's played, I think. But another one who is going to benefit from this little injury crisis by getting a run of games. Thompson scored a few goals. Rabaj, that's his third goal as well. So these boys are probably not too upset that there's been some injuries to the first choice starters. And also these are players who've played together a lot in that Carabao Cup run. It now makes a lot more sense of me doing the rotation the way I did in the Carabao Cup. It might have seemed like madness against Manchester City when we left out all our usual stars, but it was preparing them for days like this when we have to grind out a result in the pouring rain in January without any of them. Wang with the first time cross looking for Thompson. It's come to Tingy again, who this time plays it into Mbappe rather than shooting. Mbappe has the shot himself, but can't keep it down. And he looks like he's banging on the door today. He seems to want a goal. But of the three attacking midfielders, he is the one with the lowest rating currently because he keeps missing his chances. And that's going to cost him as far as ratings go. Right, Tingy wins it back in midfield again. He's such a good defensive midfield player. Mbappe plays it into Thompson. Thompson clears it for Sheffield Wednesday. And now it's back with Graf and now Rivad. And Wang takes it beautifully, tries to slide it into that far corner. It goes behind for a corner. And we've got just a couple of minutes left, but we don't get to see the corner as a highlight. So it was obviously useless. 1-1 at half time. We'd very much like to come back and win in this second half. I'd also like to see Mr Tickle do a Mr Tickle save, just so I know that we have got the right guy. We've signed so many goalkeepers here at Blackburn before going back to the original. The original, I guess, would be Casagrande as far as this save is concerned, but I don't think Eastleigh want to let him go. But Mr Tickle, I want the Blackburn fans to realise they are getting their money's worth on a guy who's played over 500 games for quite a big local rival. Right, Mbappe to Hogsberg, and now Armstrong and Rivad. Can we find a winger? We're doing a lot of this selling Wang short, and he often makes it look like a good pass when it wasn't. But that time, we do end up giving the ball away. But Rivad needs to be a little bit more careful with those passes he slides in to Wang, because it's cost us a goal there. Maybe Mr Tickle isn't everything I dreamt he would be. Maybe he only does it in a Wigan shirt. Maybe his love for Wigan is what made him such a good goalkeeper. We're going attacking, and I don't remember the last time we lost a home match. It's been a long, long, long time. Mbappe has been poor, so we're going to bring on Jude McRobbie on that right-hand side. We're going to bring on Costello for Armstrong, and we're going to bring on Mahovo as a different kind of fullback, and hope he can be a little bit more attacking for us and maybe maybe create us something, get an extra body into the midfield. There is Mahovo and Tingy and Jude McRobbie, who is another one who's getting more game time because of the injuries. Hogsberg plays it back to McRobbie. McRobbie, he's very quick. He's got lots of trickiness and speed about him, but wasn't able to use any of it to create anything for us there. And we're going to demand more. We're going to go very attacking with 15 minutes to go. Maybe Mr Tickle will score on his debut coming forward for a corner. Maybe that's why we're losing, so that we can set that piece of nonsense up. Right, we don't have another midfielder. Maybe, I said I wasn't going to do much in the way of transfer business. Maybe we need to get a midfielder, because we are a little light in midfield. Farah's going to come on to try and offer us something different, and we're also going to bring on Morchillo as another different kind of wing-back. We've got two much more attacking fullbacks on now than we started the game with. We're playing a very attacking mentality. Now we just need to do a goal, please. This is where if we'd have had the big boys, we'd have outscored them, even though we've played pretty poorly defensively. But, I mean, they were our first choice starting the match in defence and midfield. Mr Tickle's the new first choice keeper, and this hasn't worked out the way I planned at all. So, I think job one, we go and find a midfielder because we need an extra body. And then I think we need, first defeat in 7 games. So annoying. And yeah, then we need to magic sponge our injured players and get them back as soon as possible. We've got 5 days before Huddersfield. Have a little rest, you bunch of rascals. I'm going to go and try and find another central midfielder. Well, as anyone who's familiar with my work knows, there were more transfers than I may have advertised in the end, including clearing out a goalkeeper. So Pizarro has gone on loan to Charlton with a future fee of 4.7 million. So we'll almost get our money back on him. We've also sold Mario Lloyd, our backup left back, to QPR for £3 million. He didn't want to be here. Neither did our backup right back, Leo Shah, who's gone to Wolves for 7.75 million. Both of those fullbacks we've made a profit on. We sold a couple of fringe players, and then we reinvested that money. Obviously, you already know about Mr Tickle coming in, who's picked up 1 man of the match award and is a hero again. He's basically kept the ship afloat while we've been waiting for our attackers to come back. We did sign a new attacker as well. Ajdin Muminovic is a 25-year-old French striker who we've brought in from whoever that is, FCSM. Who is FCSM? I guess we'll never know, but he's just my kind of striker. Where's that gone? Where is he? There he is. He's just nice and quick. We like a quick striker, so we've got another quick striker in, and as you can see, he's come in and started scoring goals straight away. So Thompson is probably finished. He's like our 4th choice striker now. We've also signed a midfielder from Atletico Madrid. Hector is a 23-year-old Spanish defensive midfielder who was out of contract at the end of the season. We could have offered him a pre-contract, but Atletico accepted 250,000 for him, and look at the value he's come in with off the back of that. So I think that's the midfielder we needed. But just to be on the safe side, we brought in another one as well. Andrea Bolatovic is a 28-year-old Montenegro. Is that Montenegrin? Is that what that is? Maybe. He's 3 stars of current ability. Was at Lorient previously in France. So he comes in as another midfield option for us, all of which means we now have some decent strength in depth in midfield, and we're back to having a normal number of goalkeepers. Again, ignore this. Obviously, Mr Tickle is the main man for us. We almost sold Akoli, but then Graf got injured, so Akoli got in the team and removed his transfer request as a result. And in the weirdest thing of the summer, we turned down £18 million from Rob Harley from a Qatari club, which isn't weird. But what is a little bit weirder is Chelsea offered £6 million for Jude McRobbie, which we also turned down, but it suggests Jude McRobbie might be quite good if Chelsea is sniffing around. But with all of that going on, we've managed to just about stay in the mix in the Championship. We did get knocked out of the FA Cup by QPR, but since the Sheffield Wednesday game, we've not lost again in the Championship. And the table now looks like this. 30 games gone, 16 remaining. We're 3 points clear of Bournemouth, 5 points clear of Southampton, miles ahead of Leeds. So it's definitely a breakaway top 3. We just need to make sure we end up top of that top 3. And there's your confirmation. Rob Harley is in the Dream 11 and is, aside from Mile Svilar, the best player in the Championship. So the fact we've managed to make it through the window and keeping him is awesome for us. Not so great for his World Cup hopes, but he is now fit and able to come back into the team. Both him and Higgins returning to the starting 11 today after their injuries. Wang has now picked up an injury, so he joins Tijon and also Tingy, who's picked up an injury as well. So we brought in Hector at just the right time, but Graf has recovered from his injury, so Akoli drops back out of the team. So in what is a very different 11 to the one that even played our last game a few days ago, it's Mr Tickle in goal, a back four of Rajvad, Stojanovic, Graf and Hogsberg, Hector and Armstrong in midfield, and then Harley, Rabaj and Mbappe behind Higgins up front. Harley can do 45 minutes, Higgins can do 75, but I think just having the two of them back in the starting 11 is going to be just the boost that we need, as it has been starting to become a little bit of a grind getting some of these results. We're not as free-flowing and attacking and dominant as we were when everybody was fully fit and playing, so hopefully there's enough about these boys in one half of football to rip Millwall apart, remind everybody that we've got the best player in the league in Rob Harley, even though he's coming off at half-time. No one needs to know that. But if we can get the job done against Millwall in a half and then ease everybody back to fitness, get Tijon back in a week or so, Wang's going to be about a month, so it's going to give Mbappe or potentially even McRobbie the chance to have a little bit of a run in the team. But yeah, I think everything is looking in the right direction again, and Hector is certainly a decent addition to the midfield, which does allow us to then have Tingy as an option at centre-back again, even though we've been playing him in midfield all season. But there is Harley, first touch of a football in over a month. I mean, he might have had one not in a highlight, but they don't count. That's the first one we've seen him do since he went off injured against his former club, Wigan, in the last episode. And like I say, I think it's that injury that has allowed us to keep him. And hopefully, assuming we get promoted, if we don't get promoted, it's a disaster for a number of reasons. We've got quite a few players we've promised promotion to. So if we don't go up, there'll be a huge rebuild needed this summer. And if we do go up, hopefully we can slap a new contract on Rob Harley, keep him here for years and use him to build a real top team around. I mean, Blackburn, they're former Premier League winners. There's no reason why we can't return Blackburn to their mid-90s glory, building around what should be an England superstar in the shape of Rob Harley. There is the man himself on the left-hand side, usually plays on the right, but just as comfortable playing on that left-hand side, and Mbappe doesn't like playing on the left. So I guess when you grow up with Killian as your big brother, you learn to play on the opposite side just so you can get a kick. So I think that probably makes sense. But yeah, I'd just like a goal now, please. I wouldn't worry too much about selling the two fullbacks and not replacing them. We had three of each on each side, so we've got plenty of depth. We didn't need that many fullbacks, and moving those two on has allowed us to bring a couple of midfielders in without having to sell anybody. So it's allowed us to rebalance the squad a little more sensibly. Harley with the effort from range, it falls to Harley again. He lays it off to Rajvad, who, of course, won't be a left-back forever. He is still training to play centre-back. But when he can hit a cross like that, why play him at centre-back? It's a lovely cross. Mbappe's there to finish, and it's 1-0 to Blackburn. And fingers crossed, we've weathered the storm. We've got Mr Tickle in to steady the ship at the back. And we've got our best players starting to return from injury, and we can just cruise through and win the title, get promoted to the Premier League, and everything is fine. We're not going to get distracted by the FA Cup because we were knocked out of it. It's just all league games all the time from here on in, and hopefully we'll be able to keep our key players fit. I mean, we've now got the squad to rotate in all positions. Midfield was under... I mean, I'm surprised the injuries came in all of the other positions until Tingy got his knock. Because we just had no option for rotation in midfield. Now we've even got rotation there as well. And Mr Tickle's been beaten at the near post, and I don't care for it. We're not going to watch the replay just in case it's established that he's at fault, because I can't live in that world. Mr Tickle is the greatest keeper in the world, and no one's going to convince me otherwise. That being said, when we do get promoted, we are going to replace him. He's just going to sit on our bench because I don't think he's a Premier League keeper. He'll be nearly 33 then. I think if he was ever going to be a Premier League goalkeeper, he'd have made it there before 33. But we can pay him big money to sit on our bench, and he can eventually become my assistant manager, and it'll all be fine. Right, Mbappe. Oh, what a goal from Ethan Mbappe. He is having a football match today, apparently. All eyes are on the return of Harley and Higgins, but it's the Ethan Mbappe show. That's a lovely goal. It's 2-1, and that should give us the lead heading into half-time. Lovely, lovely stuff. And now we have to remember to take off Harley because we can't risk breaking him during his return from injury. So Harley comes off for Farah, and we also need to take off Higgins midway through this second half as well, as we ease him back into his recovery as well. So they're not fully back yet, but like I say, we are getting closer. And of course, we've got Mamanovic, or however you... Ooh, that disappeared. How do I get it back? There you go. What am I... Maminovic. We'll learn his name eventually. It'd be nice for you to have a look at him. He is pacey. He's a different kind of striker to Higgins. But as you've seen from his goal-scoring record since arriving, fit right in immediately. Certainly started scoring a lot quicker than Thompson did. There is Higgins, though, in behind, takes it a little bit wide. It's a heavy touch from him, and I think we're probably actually going to take him off on the hour mark rather than stretching him too far. He's got an hour under his belt. Let's bring Maminovic on, and it gives you half an hour to have a look at him then and see a different kind of striker up front for us. We just don't want to risk breaking those boys as they return from their fairly lengthy injury lapse. I mean, they've been out for like 6 weeks, both of them. It's not like they've just missed a couple of matches. We've got to get them back up to match fitness carefully so we don't break them again. And it is Millwall looking to hit us on the counter-attack. If we could do a tackle here, that'd be super. Hogsberg makes the tackle, but gives the ball away again immediately. And it is still Millwall, and they've had a shot from the edge of the area. Ref, disallow that. Mr Tickle doesn't get beaten from there. I don't like to say it, but I'm not noticing a huge difference having Mr Tickle in. I don't think he's the massive upgrade I hoped he would be. We've got him here for sentimental reasons, which, I mean, when we're playing with full realism mode on in Non-League to Legend, there's definitely a place for sentimentality. We'd do it in real life, but yeah, I don't know how much of an upgrade he is. Right, offer some encouragement. We really could use a win today. I was trying to look at the league table because obviously we've been top of the league for so long. We really don't want to start dropping points in matches like this and slipping down the table. Right. Hogsberg trying to get himself in a crossing position. Again, it is a big, deep cross from him looking for Maminovic. It's not really the type of goal he scores, at least based on the 2 goals we've seen him score so far. Maybe he can, but he is more of a play in behind for him to chase kind of striker. There you go. That's the latest look at the league table. So we would still be top if it ended like this, but we'd be topper if we picked up the win. So let's take off Hogsberg and bring on Morgillo. And then we're also gonna, what are we gonna do? We've brought Jim Kitchen back from his loan. I think we might bring him on for Mbappe here. We've brought him back just to give us an extra body. He's another one who came through our youth system. He's been around for a little while. We had to loan him out because we couldn't register him, but now we've moved a few more players on. There is room for him in the squad. So we've recalled him with the intention of using him. Here we are using him. He's not doing anything. None of them are doing anything. Won't somebody do something? Are we going to do a goal? Just no more highlights. Look at the state of the match stats. They've had 2 shots on target and scored them both. Questions need to be asked about Mr Tickle. I think Wigan have sent him here to destroy us. But, as you can see from the headline, we are still on a 5-match unbeaten run. We are still top of the league. We can't really complain too much. We are going to get our best players back. They're going to be fitter. We've got the run-in to come. And fingers crossed, we're going to win the league. Cross everything, boys and girls. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.